Part 1. Tandem Flying. Tandem flying is simply flying with the help of companions' chirps. Chirps are essential because they fill companions' scarf with flight power. To tandem fly easily, use R1 or L1 as the button for jumping. It allows to press the chirp O button and jump at the same time. To let your companion know that you want to tandem fly, chirp loud and jump in the air. Don't take off right away. Give your companion time to join you. When tandem flying, it's always good to watch closely at your companion's scarf. It can become empty at unpredictable times. You can tandem fly forever, as long as you and your companion hold each other in the air with chirps. However, while it has no limitations when moving forward, it does not grant infinite rising up. Part 2. Flight ceiling. Flight ceiling is a thing that prevents you from gaining any height when jumping up. It introduces itself with a funny, choppy animation. It exists while flying alone, especially after any boost. Here, after boosting, I can't reach the pillar top, even though I'm jumping up. I can solve it by either resetting the flight ceiling by stepping on a platform, or, if I have scarf and no ledge to use for height resetting, boost to the goal point. When hitting the flight ceiling, especially after a boost, it's counterproductive to jump up. However, I keep the same height if I fly straight forward. To trick the flight ceiling when climbing, I stop chirping my companion so they jump up without glowing. I chirp only when their scarf runs out. When not glowing, flight ceiling rises and we can fly up much higher. In some cases, flight ceiling can be exploited. Sometimes, me or my companion might want to levitate at the same height for a prolonged time. We both can find a moment where we reach the flight ceiling and glow from each other, then hold jump and stop chirping. This allows us to hang in the same place and enjoy the view effortlessly. But now it's time for something even more relaxing. Part 3. Coasting. Same as the tandem flying, coasting is essentially flying forward while glowing from a companion. You can coast forever while holding each other in the air. But unlike tandem flying, the chirps here are small or non-existent. When we are close enough to each other to glow just from touching, we can both glide forward without pressing the jump button. To start the coasting, both companions jump in the air and fly in the same direction. When we are close enough, just tiny, consistent chirps are enough. It's important to stop pressing jump once a good position is maintained. It's also important to hold the left stick fully forward. For the reasons listed in the ping chapter, you have to always be ahead of your companion. If I'm too far ahead, I release my left stick for a split of a second, then continue to press it fully forward. It's better to do a tiny flick several times, as opposed to one long slow down, and eventually find a good position. In snow, it looks like my companion is slowing with their left stick because of their body position, but it's an illusion. They are pressing the left stick fully forward, and on their screen, your legs hang instead. If you both glow from each other, but your companion keeps falling down, the reason and solutions are listed in the ping chapter. Another method to start a coasting is to walk off any ledge or rock together. Better to do with a companion who already knows what the coasting is. During the coasting, it's safe to look forward or up. If I want to look to the side, I will need to compensate the motion of the camera with the left stick to continue moving in a straight line. It's better to chirp when turning or rotating the camera. Looking down is a big no-no. After looking down, I start flying down at a rapid speed. But there's a way to float down and look anywhere I want. Part 4. Beam down. Beam down is incredibly relaxing. I can just put the controller down and enjoy the scenery, or point camera at any direction without the fear of falling out. To initiate the beam down, companions approach each other in the air, chirping. If during flying, your companion suddenly stops in the air and starts chirping loudly and jump up in one place in the air, it's usually a sign that they want to beam down. We chirp a lot because it makes the companions jump slower and allows easier connection. It's also useful to reach the flight ceiling when trying to beam down. It makes your jumps tiny and allows for easy connection. When both are at the same level and glow even without chirps, we don't press jump anymore. Now we can slowly levitate towards the ground. Some companions prefer to connect for beam down silently. It's good to always notice and repeat the chirp pattern of a companion. Here I noticed that my companion stopped chirping. We can also initiate beam down by slowly walking off a ledge while chirping, or silently. There's also a beam down game where you beam down off a ledge with a motionless companion. Another method is to coast into a wall. This will grant an instant easy beam down. If I am close to my companion, but a bit too low, sometimes instead of jumping up, I carefully move from side to side. It rises me up very slowly. But sometimes, no matter how much I try, I cannot connect in the air. Part 5. Ping. Ping is the time it takes for a network packet to leave your computer, go to another one, and return. Lower ping is better. Tandem flying in relation to ping is a difficult matter, but I hope it can be more clear after this explanation. With a companion that lives all the way across the globe, we often struggle to coast or beam down, or sometimes even tandem fly. I see us both glow from each other, but we keep falling apart. It happens because high ping makes companions see different things. My companion sees my position with a delay. Usually, such connection completely prevents the silent coasting opportunity, and even the chirp coasting acquires some new rules. For the sake of clarity, I will first show the ping example by using simple walking, as the same rules apply here. I will always be in red, my companion is always in white. Here is an example of me, Europe, and my companion, Australia, walking forwards together. On my screen, both companions glow from each other's body without chirps, but on companion's screen, it looks like this. Such a gap between us means that we have a high ping. Here we are keeping the same position, but I chirp to make my companion glow. My companion doesn't need to chirp, as I'm already glowing from touching them. Keeping this formation in the air, we can coast. Here is another formation. We are equally ahead of each other on both screens. Keeping ahead of my companion like this is good for coasting with high ping, the same formation, but in the air. We can support each other with small chirps. The difference of position during a beam down. An example of me, Europe, and my companion, USA, walking forward together. The gap is much smaller. We have lower ping. With the moderate ping like this, just keeping a little bit ahead of your companion should make the coasting pretty effortless. And sometimes silent coasting becomes possible. Notice how we are both equally ahead of each other on our screens. An example of me, Europe, and my companion, Europe, walking forward together. Ping is almost non-existent. Even if I walk slightly behind, we still glow on both screens. Coasting is effortless. During a beam down, we see the same. To understand ping, even before starting any coasting, in this place in PD, I walk ahead of my companion and see when they shine from the places where I was just a second ago. Here with a companion from Australia, I can see them glow far away from me. And in this example with a companion from US, the gap between us is not as big. After knowing all this, how should I accommodate for high ping? First and most importantly, I am always ahead of my companion during any type of together flying. Even when I am a follower, I follow the direction my companion is steering towards, while still keeping ahead of them. This is an example of a companion trying to be behind me on their screen. Because of this, coasting becomes impossible. You should always be ahead on your screen, no matter if you lead or follow. When coasting, I can test our connection further by stopping to chirp when we both glow. But if they keep falling down, I start chirping continuously. This companion stops chirping as soon as we connect on their screen, and I keep falling. When a companion keeps falling out, it's better to switch to chirp coasting. When beaming down, I am doing my best to be below my high ping companion. If my companion is below instead, they will most probably fall down. That's all. Thank you for watching until the end, and happy flying.